Hey guys, um, it's very often that I'm getting a message on my social media about editing. People are curious, how do I edit my photographs? So I thought to make a short video and just show you the whole workflow, how I'm working. So let's take this card, put it inside, and see how we do it. So the first stage would be to import my photographs. I would usually try to do it at the same day of work, even if I'm tired. If you don't do it in the same day, they tend to pile up and it gets harder and harder to sort your photographs. So usually the same day I would at least do the sorting of the photographs. So I will choose the card. It's just a random photos that I choose for today's class. And I will choose copy. And the next thing that I will do, I will rename the files. I want to have the date of the file, including the number of the file. And then I will choose the location where I'm storing it. The way I store my files, I know that a lot of people have a different way of working. I like to have a raw file with my year, and inside that raw file, I will create a folder with um, the images that I'm trying to import. So right now it's 2025, and actually I'll call it Lightroom Workflow 2025. And that way I will know that these are the photographs that I used for the Lightroom Workflow video. Press quickly on import, and they will quickly come into our Lightroom. Depends on your computer, on the speed of your computer and the speed of your card. I'm not importing a lot of photographs, so it should be easy. So the first thing that I do, I rate my photos. I want to know which ones are good and which ones are less good, and which ones I want to work with and which ones I don't want to work with. And to do that, I'm using the 3, 4, 5 rating systems, where 3 is okay, 4 is good, 5 is excellent. Anything else just goes. I just press on X. And to rate it in a such way, you just really use the numbers 3, 4, and 5. 3, 4, or 5. At the moment you press the number, the file gets rated and it jumps to the next file. And whatever I don't like, I just press on X. And this means that I rejected that file. I don't like it. And X, 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 X. And then again, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5. At the moment I finish with all of that, I will go and I will just delete all the rejected photographs. That will clean my library, and I will be able to work with just what I chose. And how we proceed from here, I would usually choose the better photos. Let's do U to this. I don't want to delete them actually. So I would choose usually the 5-star files. I would just click here and it will choose me first of all the 5, and I will work on this only. Okay. But now let's speak a little bit about the editing itself. A lot of times, people see photographs on the internet and they think that it's editing, that to achieve that result, you just need to edit better. But I can tell you that 99% of the times, to achieve better result, you need to learn to shoot better. And if the initial material is good, the files actually require very, very little of editing. So this is a file or a photograph that I wouldn't edit. Like, I can edit it, of course, but I can't really make that photo be a great photo. It can be an okay photo, but definitely not a great one. Let's go here and I'll explain you the reasons. The reason for that photograph particularly to be bad is uh, that big difference in dynamic range. You see you have a certain dynamic range in that area, and you have another dynamic range in that area, and it pulls your eye so strongly, and you can't really do anything. You can go and try to kind of remove highlights or pull out shadows to kind of compensate for that, but this will still look ugly. There is nothing you can do to fix it. This is something that needs to be fixed at the shooting location. You cannot fix it in post. Maybe you can in Photoshop, but not in Lightroom in the regular way. Similarly with that file. Yeah, there is like a cool moment. The guy is making some exercise, but all that left part here, it's burned. You cannot really do anything with it. I can try and pull highlights down, again, put the shadow, so kind of make it look a little bit better, and maybe try to crop a little bit. Um, but again, we are not getting anywhere with that. Like, this is a little bit better, but it's not more than 3. I wouldn't give that file more than 3 stars. So first step, you need to analyze which files you can edit and which you cannot. Like, that one is borderline between 3 and 4. Because the background here is not so burned, you can still kind of get some feeling of whatever it is and crop tiny bit. And that's it. But still, again, not a great photo. You cannot edit an average photo to be a great photo. The next step would be cropping. I would firstly crop a file. I will come here. For example, I see these hands, I like them, but I feel that I would like to go deeper and kind of focus my attention on them. So I will press on R to get to the crop tool, and then I will use L. L will remove the sides of basically the bars of Lightroom and allow me to see the photograph better the way I want it. So I don't really need all that table. What is interesting is the hands here. So I will kind of play around to bring myself to the right spot. And I do like a little bit of this garment here. Maybe take a little bit of that left side. It's not necessary. Even that thing is not necessary to be the whole. So let's see, that would be my crop. So we already kind of got the person eye or the reader eye into that, little bit punched into that photograph. The next thing, I will usually use some sort of, I will see what are the camera presets here. So I do like the neutral to start with. And we'll start. I want to bring more details to that area. So I will open a little bit the shadows, a little bit more. Probably, no, I will not do it here. The next one, I would most likely go with a radial filter here. Kind of like that. Giving a little bit more light to these hands. And also I want to have them with more details, so I will add more micro contrast and texture and perhaps even a little bit of sharpness just to get it like that. And what I will do after that, I will duplicate and invert that mask, because actually on the outer side I want to create something that is more looking like vignetting. So I will remove a little bit from the highlights, remove a little bit from here, add some shadows, and you see like how slowly it comes up into the hands. Perhaps even a little bit less. Good. Let's see, general. I want more contrast here. I really want that part to shine. And if I really, really, really want to give the attention to the rings on that person, I will probably run with a brush just over the rings. It's very rough. I would probably do it more accurate if I was sitting and doing it for publishing, and just add more clarity in that area. Perhaps even a little bit of dehaze, a little bit of texture, and a little bit of sharpness. This is how it was before, this is how it is after. And again, there is some more to be done. I don't like that it's too bright here, so I will take another brush, go a little bit lower on the exposure, and just mark that part, leave that area, leave the crystals out. Don't like this too much. Kind of doing a small dodge and burn. Yeah, maybe even taking that scarf a little bit. Bring us straight to the hands. And we can do it like that. All right. So this is, I would say, 90% done. Again, you can see that the dynamic range here was pretty much the same. The sharpness was excellent. It was very easy to photograph and to edit that photograph. Let's go to the next one. This photo is extremely easy to edit. That's how it's captured. I don't think that there is even a need for any crop here. Let's take a look for a second. Yeah, I might bring it a little bit like that, but that would be it. And here is easy again. Radial filter in the middle. We want to bring most of that attention to the middle. I do want to create more contrast here. And then we're doing again duplicate and invert, and actually from the outside I want to go lower, less on the shadows, less on the whites, kind of give that feeling that it's fading in. I could probably do a little bit sharpening. Let's here just on the masking. If you want to see that masking, you need to press an option key on your Mac. I'm not sure which key is on your Windows, but it should be somewhere near between the shift and the control there. So yeah, this is the areas that I want to sharpen it a little bit, and maybe reduce a little bit of the noise. Yeah, I think it's decent. I could use the denoise function. I'm not gonna get into that right now, but here it's again. And another thing that I could try here, just like we did in the previous photograph, I might try and see if some of the other camera matchings would work better. Yeah, the Faithful actually works better for me here. And we didn't touch anything here, but I could add a little bit of contrast, maybe cool it tiny bit. A little bit whites, not sure about the highlights. I do like the deeper shadows always on my photograph. And that's it. That's another photograph. Before, after, done. Nothing much to do. Another photograph. This is photographed in Varanasi. You can see the sunlight coming straight to her face, to her eyes. Again, very easy to edit this photo. I would probably, let's see, it was in standard. I would probably go to neutral. Again, little bit of that, little bit of that. I feel that we are too warm here, and actually the exposure is a little bit too much. I want to do it less. And again, radial filter on her face, roughly, to see if I can do something else here to emphasize it a little bit. Maybe again, little bit of texture, a little bit of clarity, just to pull the attention to her face. And similarly, duplicate and invert mask. We will be working on all the rest. So here I can try and reduce texture, clarity. Let me see. Yeah, I want to bring the attention straight to her. And let's go and see if I can brighten it back and pretty much done. Do we want to do a little bit crop here? Yes, we could. Just a tiny bit. Done. Before, after. That's how like the image is a little bit more cool. Let's come to that little boy. Again, there is almost nothing to be done here. The photograph is good as it is, it's sharp as it is. I can do a little bit more sharpening and enhance it a little bit, but it's already done in camera. It's just finding the right light, positioning the subject in the right way, and matching a good background so the person can pop up. And let's try and do a little bit of editing. I think it's standard. It's just too colorful for my taste. I would again go for faithful. Um, let's go for a little bit of clarity. Actually, there is really nothing much to be done here. I will reduce a little bit the clarity and use radial mask again to just work on his face in terms of probably I'll add some sharpness here. That's it. Duplicate and invert mask, reducing the clarity and the sharpness. That will even emphasize it more. I think I want to try maybe to reduce the temperature around, make it cooler. Will that work? I don't know, maybe too cool. Sorry, the computer is not the newest. Okay, select him, select the eyes, peoples, create two separate masks. So I will go for that one, and all I need to do here is just add a tiny bit of clarity, a little bit of texture, and I also want to see how it will be if I add a little bit of lights and contrast. Good, that's part one. The other one is just opening the eyes, and I want to desaturate a little bit because the saturation of the yellow color is up. And again, I think I feel it's too strong, all of this. That's it. So let's look at before, after. Again, there is nothing much to do. I'll skip that guy. Actually, I will not skip that guy. Let's look at him. So here, for example, the light is not as good. Here the light is falling properly in the eyes, and there is nothing much to do to, to open the shadows. But here it's not the same case. So here what we need to do is really go and open that face, see what's going on here. Actually, maybe not like that. Maybe I'll just use a brush. You might ask me why. No, not remove. You might ask me why I use brushes and the other stuff and not necessarily using the AI tools. The reason for that is quite simple. The AI tools, as far as I know them today, they really struggle with the edges. And if I select with the AI tool, I would usually have some problem at the edge. Come on. Okay, that is done. So all I want to do here is open shadows, open a little bit, even more. Yes. And I'll do another brush. I'll go straight into the eyes here. And I'll try to open a little bit the eyes more. Let's see. Okay, that gives me that. Okay, let's look at general. Tiny bit, little bit lower on the temperature, cool it down. And now we have the beards to deal with. The beards and the mustache and all the rest. I will probably use another brush here, making the brush bigger with and just focus on the mustache and beard area. Okay, and if I press on option again, I can delete whatever I overpainted here. So that's not an issue because I will probably want to see and make it a little bit brighter. right? And then a little bit of clarity. And then I think I will probably come with another brush just on the mustache area here, and I will reduce the saturation. That yellow color kind of drives me insane. You see, if I push it, it's too strong. I want to reduce that yellow color, even that he's a smoker and everything. Okay, and let's see what else we have here. A little bit general. Yes, a little bit of contrast, little bit of... It's important not to overdo. And I feel that we can really go with that kind of look. Okay, before, after, before, after. Actually, it's okay. How will temperature work? Yeah, we want it a little bit warmer. Yeah, I do like the saturation. And there is another one that I feel that I would like to do is to deal with the floor here. The floor here is a little bit too bright. So I want to frame him between the two images. Okay, darkening a little bit the floor, brings the attention towards him. So what we have here, dark framing on the top, dark framing on the bottom, and our guy is in the middle, and nice and handsome again, before, after. You see, these are like small changes, but they can impact the photograph dramatically. I'll skip that guy. Another photograph. It's again, it is pretty easy. You would work, I would work here again with a radial filter. What's happening? With a radial filter because I want to see what is happening here. Well, maybe that's not working so well. Yeah, having their faces, put some extra contrast in that area, and then duplicate it in the vert, and let's see what can we do. So we can kind of straighten that sky a little bit, but again I want to do more. And I feel that that photograph have a lot of space that is just lost on the left hand side. There is no story there. So I will come and bring everything back to the story. Remember, pressing L will darken all the Lightroom features and sliders around so you can focus clearly on the photograph. And again, the light is done on camera, everything is done on camera. We're just straightening the image, making it a little bit more stronger. I would like to reduce some of the noise here, especially at the open area. Maybe I'll just do it like that. There's too much noise there. So I will come and noise reduction, boom. Can do a lot. Good, no clarity, no texture. Boom, smooth, yofi. Nice. All right, what else could I do? Camera standard. Yeah, maybe the portrait version works better here. And we are done. Before, after, before, after. We took a little bit under control the other things. Let's do something a little bit more complicated. For example, this photograph. This photograph is quite messy. I used the flash here. The flash worked a little bit strong. So these guys, you can see that they got a lot of that flash, and there's a lot of stuff here that I don't want in the image. So it's all these. So I will use two radial filters here. Oh, right, I already used everything. Let's first reset everything here. So yeah, so this is, you can see that the flash that I used here a little bit brought a lot of, kind of not burn, but we have some detail loss in that area. So what we're gonna do now, we're going to use radial gradient on the first cut, And then we're going to add an additional radial gradient, and we use it on the dog. Okay, and then we would like to add also the person. Wait. Add additional radial gradient for the person. Right. So we kind of have all this area covered with gradients, kind of a mask on top of all of this. And what we need to do here is reduce the highlights to get their look. We want to see the fur. This will bring up the fur, maybe a little bit of contrast, and then we want to do duplicate and invert, because with everything else we actually want to see less, so we can put the shadows down. But actually what I would do here is just reducing texture, reducing clarity, kind of reducing the presence of whatever is there, and fitting into these two things. Another thing that I could do probably is go with a brush through his tattoo and try to emphasize this a little bit more, but that would be it. And maybe just a tiny crop. That hand here has nothing to do in the photograph. It's not helping. And again, we want to have the two cute animals, crazy animals, and the guy carrying them. The rest is just not part of the story. Boom, done. All right. Again, looking at that image, I want to show that guy. He is the strongest persona in the image. He's all sweating. I want to show that sweat. I want to show it stronger. So I would probably go and add a little bit of exposure, reduce. I don't know why it was so warm. And focus on him. We always want to bring the attention to what we want in the image. That's the purpose of the editing, not try to fix stuff, to bring attention. So now when I have him here, I can really focus on his, yes, the clarity really works well on that one. And texture, and what we're gonna do here more, I think I want to reduce even more. Yes, make him even colder. Can you see how everything popped now? Yes. Oh, and again, duplicate and invert mask. I want to hide the other people. Not hide them, but kind of make them less important. So they're all disappearing into the shadows. I will reduce contrast a bit though. And again, less details, less texture around him. Let's bring most of the interest on that, our guy. And let's see, before, after. Again, subtle changes just to bring up, our person to the frame. I like these guys. They were trying to bring up this huge sack of cucumbers, I think. And what captured my attention were the hands, like how different they are, and how they were working closely together. So first thing, I want to punch in more to the hands. You see that part outside? It's a different dynamic range. It pulls right. We don't want that. We want to close the image until here and here as much as we can. And even like that, it's okay to cut a little bit of the hand. Let's see, can I do more? Yes, I can do more. So we have, yes, I think that we have all the hands that I want here. And now we just need to build contrast on top of all that, and probably also make it a little bit colder. Let's see. Matter. Interesting that the landscape actually works here, right? Yeah, not the standard. And on top of that, just a little bit of dehaze, a little bit of texture, then maybe a tiny bit lower, and reduce a little bit of the saturation. So obviously that head is the hero head. That hand is the hero head. It's the one that pulls the most attention. And again, then that was before, that was after. Slightly color correction. You see, I'm not doing any color grading. I'm just adjusting a little bit how the scene feels. Let's capture that one. So here we have this guy, we have this huge thing that competes with him, and we have this huge blue things that is also very, very strong. So to solve all that, it's quite quick. Again, small radial filter on him. We don't really need to do anything on him to pop him out, so we will just invert that one. Wait, there was an invert here. We will invert that one. So now everything I'm doing will be outside. So I want to remove highlights. I want to remove more of whatever is happening outside. And that's it. The eye goes straight to that guy. Now I can go back and just do some normal editing. Probably. I will want to take probably these letters out of the frame. And maybe a little bit of that out of the frame. And we are here. I feel that it's a little bit too warm. You know, temperature is a feeling, so you can go for accurate temperature if you're shooting product photos, because you need to maintain the colors in the exact way. But when you're shooting street and travel photography, you don't necessarily need to pay so much attention to it. You can really use it as a feeling tool. And that's it. Let's see. Before, after, subtle change, big difference. Similarly, in that area, there are two guys who are working. All I want to do here is just bring one guy stronger and with more clarity on him. Too much clarity, too much shadows up. And then I need to decide, do I want to bring the other guys as well? This is all decisions, guys. Yeah, I want to show him as well. And then when I have both of them in the frame, I'm making another big radial filters. You probably notice that I like radial filters a lot, right? They're just so functional. I'm kind of going to create a vignette around all this and focus most of the attention on these two guys. So again, before, like, the attention was spreading to these areas. Back, all the attention is here. This is just as a feeling of an environment that is happening there. I don't know. Let's do a few more. Let's do these two. So here it was in the under the famous Kolkata bridge. It has beautiful light, but again I want to do it a little bit deeper. So all I need to do here is just pull a radial filter on both of these guys, invert it, and pull the shadows down. Pull everything a little bit down from around them. I feel that there is also too much of color, reducing a little bit of the color, reducing a little bit of the temperature. Maybe do a slight crop. I don't really want that guy in the frame there. I want to focus on this group. And that's it. Let's see. Another thing that I could do is to use a gradient like this one. What it will do, I will actually extend it like this. I will gradually create like shadows going in the frame. That's it. Now he becomes significantly more dominant in these two characters. Again, I feel that we have too much color, maybe too much of color. That's it. That's before. Everything was kind of washed in similar contrast. Created more contrast, focused the attention on that guy. You see, it took just like a few minutes. Let's go here. Obviously, this is our hero. We want to focus on him. Coming on him. Um, Probably a little bit of more contrast and maybe even more texture, clarity, and duplicate and invert. That will reduce the power of the other one. Just, you know, making him a secondary subject in that frame. Let's see. How do I want it in terms of? I feel I'm okay with standard. Maybe. Okay, let's see. Before, after. Subtle change, little bit more contrast. That's it. Well, let's see another photograph, and I think we can wrap it up here. So here we can see these two lights and this huge space with a lot of other things. I would probably try to add more light to places that we cannot see. So I'll probably pull the lights a little bit here as well, but maintaining the highlights down so we can kind of have better idea of what is happening here. Reduce a little bit here and maybe even more. I want to see what's happening in these crates. So let's pull a little bit more of the, but maintaining the highlights down. And that would be it. Let me see. Do I want to crop a little bit? Yes, I could. Bringing the story closer. That's it. Another one. That could be a great photograph. Do you know why does it not work? The reason why it doesn't work is because that layer of circles just doesn't have a nice pretty ending. So whatever I do here, like I can try to kind of close it a little bit, make it less messy, go towards something like that to strengthen the circles. It still does not work the way I would like it to. All these nice shapes, if there was be something cleaner on the background, will work. So background is something that is very, very, very important that you should pay attention to it. So I think that's it for now. You can take a look and think if there are any other questions that you want to ask me. I don't have much experience with these online tutorials, but I'm trying to. So if you have questions, I'll try to answer in the comments. And if you want me to explain some other things about my workflow, shoot and ask. And if I have time, I'll do it for you. See you next time.